You wake up at night. The house is quiet. Somewhere in the dark, a floorboard creaks. Your heart starts pounding before your mind has time to think a single word. You're not afraid of the floorboard. You're afraid of what it might mean. This isn't random. This isn't weakness. This is a mechanism over 100,000 years old, still running. Scientists call it terror management. Sounds like the title of a thriller. It's actually one of the most precise theories ever proposed for why humans need culture at all. Start with a simple question. Does an animal know it's going to die? A cat fears a dog. A deer fears a wolf. But no cat, no deer, lies awake at night thinking about the moment it will cease to exist. They don't have the tool for that. You do. Around 70,000 years ago, something shifted in the brain of your ancestors. The ability to imagine yourself in the future appeared, to plan, to picture yourself tomorrow, next year, 10 years from now. This was an enormous advantage. You could plan a hunt, store food for winter, outsmart a rival. But that ability came with a price. If you can imagine yourself tomorrow, eventually you imagine yourself dead. Psychologist Ernest Becker, in his book, The Denial of Death, called this the central paradox of being human. You're an animal with a body that ages, gets sick, and dies, like every other body in nature. But your mind is developed enough to know it. You are both a beast and a creature aware that it's a beast. That combination is unbearable, and your species found a way to live with it anyway. How? Look inside Shanidar Cave in what is now Iraq. 50,000 years ago, Neanderthals lived there. In the 1960s, archaeologist Ralph Solecki found something strange, a body buried with clear traces of flower pollen scattered around the remains. Headlines at the time were bold: Neanderthals buried their dead with flowers. The story spread across the world. Later, part of the evidence was questioned. The pollen may have come from burrowing rodents, not ritual. But one thing isn't in question. The body was deliberately buried, placed in a specific position, not abandoned, not left for scavengers. Anthropologist Trinkaus, who studied the Shanidar remains for decades, showed that intentional burial among Neanderthals shows up again and again at different sites, across different eras. This isn't the habit of one tribe, it's a pattern. Why would an animal spend effort carefully laying a body into the ground? Because a burial isn't for the dead, it's for the living. Archaeologist Paul Pettit, who wrote extensively on the origins of human burial, notes that the act of burying is among the earliest known human rituals. Not decoration, not art, not a tool, a ritual. Think about what a ritual actually does. It takes chaos, a sudden, unexplainable stop in a life, and turns it into order, into a procedure, into meaning. You place the body in a certain position. You say certain words. You leave an object beside it, a weapon, an ornament, a piece of meat. You're essentially saying, death isn't the end of the story. It's a passage, and passages can be managed. Here's the trick your brain plays. It can't cancel death, but it can cancel the terror of it. Not the fact, the helplessness in front of the fact. In the 1980s, 3 American psychologists, Sheldon Solomon, Jeff Greenberg, and Tom Pischinsky, decided to test Becker's idea experimentally. They built a series of studies that became known in psychology as terror management theory. The experiment was simple. One group of participants was reminded of their own mortality, asked to write a few sentences about what would happen to their body after death. Another group got a neutral topic. Then researchers measured how people reacted to others who differed from them in beliefs, culture, values. The result repeated itself, study after study. People reminded of death became stricter, held their beliefs more rigidly, judged those who thought differently more harshly. defended their group, their nation, their team more fiercely. Why? Because culture is your shield, your value system, your religion, your country, even your favorite sports team. All of it gives you the sense that you're part of something that will outlast your body. When a reminder of death cracks the armor, you grip the shield tighter. That's what was happening 50,000 years ago inside Shanidar Cave. And it's what happens today when you scroll your feed and see news of a disaster. You close the app. You call someone close to you. You check that the door is locked. You write tomorrow's to-do list. Each one of these actions is a tiny ritual against the exact same ancient fear. Religions around the world, for all their differences, are solving the same problem. Egyptian pyramids, the Tibetan Book of the Dead, Christian resurrection, Hindu reincarnation. Every culture invented its own answer to an